Where were you born?
I was born in Anderston in Glasgow, down at the docks there. Dover Street, in the next close to Alex Campbell, the folk singer, and the same street as Roddy McMillan, the actor.
Who was your father?
Billy, he's the same name as me, Billy Connolly. He was born in Partick in Glasgow, the son of an Irish immigrant, Jack, and he served his apprenticeship as an optical instrument maker at Baron Stroud's, making rangefinders for the army and binoculars and all that. And then he went into the Air Force in India. While he was doing that, my mother and he split, and my mother went off with another guy called Adams, and they went and lived in Dunoon and raised another family. My father and his two sisters brought me up.
Was it a shock when your mother went?
No. That was very odd, but not a shock. It was very strange and very exciting, I thought, at the time. My sister was more shocked by it because I think she knew more about it, because I was only 4, and she was always my guardian, my sister, and she kind of looked after me. I thought the whole thing was rather exciting, I remember at the time.
Were you well brought up by your aunts?
No, I didn't enjoy it at all. It was awful. Because my aunts began to regret it. They were both single and in their 20s, I guess, then. One of them was just out of the Wrens, in Portsmouth there, and the other one was a career nurse, and I think they deeply regretted it, especially the older one, who took the real mother place in my life. Mona, she deeply regretted doing it because it kind of cost her marriage and happiness and stuff. And she kind of took it out on me. I don't blame the women. It was just the whole thing was uncomfortable and awful and dreadful. I didn't like my childhood at all.
You were a Catholic? Was that an important thing in your childhood?
It was very important in my childhood, indeed. I liked it. I liked Catholicism and religion and stuff like that. I really did when I was a kid. I still like hymns. I like how they feel. I like on Radio 4, New every morning and all those things. I hope that's still on, but I don't like modern hymns. I like traditional hymns.
Are you a practicing Catholic?
Certainly. No. No.
A believing Catholic?
No, I'm not even a Christian anymore.
Did you like school?
I hated school.
Why did you hate school?
I really don't have a good answer. I loved it in the beginning, and I was very, very good when I was an infant. I was taken round the school to show me off to how I could write when I was only 5, and I was writing on the blackboard. And we got to my sister's class, and she stood up and read to everyone, and we were quite celebrated, in St. Peter's Girls' School. You went to the girls' school till you were 7, you see. And then I went to the boys' school, and I had a maniac of a teacher, a psychopath. God, I'd love to kick her ass if I met her today. Her name was MacDonald, Big Rosie MacDonald, who made my life an absolute misery. And a lot of others. I mean, she used to call people with glasses 4 eyes. She was a teacher. Right, and I didn't like. I fell away. I fell away badly, and then I failed the 11 plus. But I was only 11, so they let me do it again, and I passed by some miracle, and I got to St. Gerard's in Govan because I got a senior pass. I didn't only pass; I got lofted right beyond the junior into the green blazer job. Govan, went to school in Govan, a place I dearly love now to this day. I was there. I started good again. I was 10th in the first year. Now, this was the creme de la creme of the working class boys. Well, no. The ones with a few bob would go to St. Mungo's and St. Aloysius. But my sister was already going to Notre Dame, and they couldn't stretch. Not that they wanted to, but I was at St. Gerard's. And with my green blazer and all, and I was 10th in the first year out of 35 boys. Not bad at all. And then, whoosh, down the Swanee. And at my own fault, I was always looking at I know more about the sex life of pigeons than I know about irregular verbs. I could just watch the pigeons all day. And the space between the buildings, out of the bungalows, these buildings that were supposed to be temporary, which became permanent. Between the buildings, you could see the shipyards, and you could hear them all day. You could hear the caulkers working.
Is that where you went to
and that's work? Where I see. It was such a gas. It was full employment. The school's emptied and the gates of the shipyard open and we just poured in. What trade would you like? Certainly, son. There you go. So when I left school, I had 2 engineering certificates, a J1 and J2. There was an engineering course, and I did rather well. But next salutary lesson, I want to be a marine engineer because my life's ambition is to get the hell out of there, to get on a ship and go. I want to go to Shanghai. I want to go to Valparaiso. I want to go to Baltimore for some reason. Because I would go to school on the Renfrew ferry across the, not the Renfrew ferry, the Govan ferry, across the Clyde. And all the boats seemed to be registered in Baltimore. And I thought, that's where I'll go to Baltimore. But I go to be an engineer, got to Stevens shipyard. There's a guy sitting next to me, and he's got a blazer with a Boys Brigade badge on it. I thought, oh, I'm doomed. This is it. He'll get it. And he did. And he's talking, he's a plummy voice. This guy doesn't know a spanner from an Alsatian dog. He gets the gig, and I'm a welder. The best thing that ever happened to me, you know, because that's where I belonged. All those guys, the Black Squad, we were called.
What's left of the Glasgow of your childhood?
Not a lot. Not a lot. It's physically changed, and I miss it terribly. I think I miss Glasgow, but what I miss is my youth, I think, really. But when I think of Glasgow, the Glasgow that I really liked, Drury Street and the Horseshoe Bar, the cobbles, you know, or the Barrowland Bar and drinking Lanley, or the Oxford Tavern, and all those places with those old drunk women and laughing. And it's always raining, and it's always cobbles. And I'm walking, I've got a white shorty raincoat and I'm going dancing. Or I'm in the Surrey Head and we're drinking Scrumpy. With Hughie Gilchrist, he was the funniest man on the planet, an apprentice welder, and he had a drinking coat. It was a Pack-a-Mac. So we all wore suits, you know, Irish tweed and striped Italian gear. And he'd button his Pack-a-Mac up to the neck. And because Angus, who was the barman, would lift pints of Scrumpy over people's heads. It would rain cider on you.
You said you wanted to get the hell out of there, and you did get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
You've got a home in Los Angeles. Is that home?
It's home is where the mortgage is. I don't care about home anymore. I'm a gypsy. I have been for many, many years, 25 years. When I was married the first time, I remember once my wife complaining that we had 13 addresses in 10 years. Well, I don't know how many addresses I've had now, many, many more. I love my life. I love the way it changes texture all the time. And I like Los Angeles because it has no root. It isn't a place, really. It doesn't even have a center. It's nothing. It's what you make it, or it's nothing at all. And it depends entirely on who you're with, the kind of time you're going to have.
When you go back to Glasgow, do you see your old friends?
I do, yeah. I see quite a few.
Now, how long do you spend with them?
Oh, quite a lot, quite a lot. I've got fishing pals, and I have welder pals. I don't have many pals from school. I must tell you this, that really distresses me. I went with a television program to my school, St. Peter's, and they went through the records, and I'm not there. So we went to St. Gerard's in Govan, and they went through the records, and I'm not there again. They've taken me out the thing. Like I'm a non-person. You know, I think that's it.